This episode of the GameOverGreggy Show is brought to you by Blue Apron. For less than $10 per meal, Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-portioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. Did I missay recipes? I might have, but I'm not going to stop because your best friend and Blue Apron don't care. They just want to feed you. Will you let them feed you? Ladies and gentlemen, I've used Blue Apron. That's right, it's me, Greg Miller, from the GameOverGreggy Show. They sent buffalo chicken sandwiches. I made them. They were delicious. Did they send other things? Yes, they did. They were also delicious. They send you the pre-portioned ingredients. You get them. You do little step-by-step recipes. You get cool recipe cards. They teach you about the ingredients. You make delicious home-cooked stuff at home. So check out this week's menu and get the first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/Greggy. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create an incredible home-cooked meal with Blue Apron, so don't wait. That's blueapron.com/Greggy. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. Now here's Kevin.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Timmy, what's your topic?
My topic is about a traumatic experience that I had earlier today.
Oh. Today?
Today.
Oh, wow.
Me and Colin.
Was it this shirt?
No, that was traumatic experience number 1.
Have you seen yourself in that shirt?
I have.
Okay.
It's fucking fantastic.
Because I saw that shit. It was
There's
traumatizing for me.
glitter on certain
At first,
parts.
I thought he had been shot because of like the spray out on the side.
Shot, and then it turns out his inside's just made out of like
He's
some
Crash
sort of
Bandicoot
orange
on the
crush.
inside.
Yeah. I got crashed on the inside. So me and Colin, we went to get lunch. We ordered a whole bunch of burgers. It was a good old time. We parked my car, and the parking's like a block away from the studio here. We start walking down, and then we got straight up attacked by this dog. And it was a horrifying experience. And by that, I mean the dog just started barking at us and like walked up to us and then walked away. But here's my thing. It could have attacked me.
What kind of dog was it?
It was a,
It's a Chihuahua.
No.
A small,
Some sort of
min
shepherd
pin.
or something.
A
I don't know.
medium-sized
It was a pretty
Medium-sized dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my topic, cats and dogs. We haven't really talked about them ever, surprisingly. I looked
Yeah.
back at the topics. I would have sworn we had done that by now. We haven't. My thing is, why do we trust them? Why do I trust this mangy mutt looking at me, running at me with his, 60 pounds of fury?
Some stray dog?
Well, no, just this.
No,
there's
some
this
wo-
old lady. Hey,
Oh, there was a lady involved.
here, George.
No, see,
George?
Yeah, whatever the dog's name was.
There's a
This dog
dude in my
wasn't
neighborhood
listening.
that is clearly a control freak. The guy's like 6'4", and he has these fucking gigantic white dogs. 3 of them. They look like hellhounds. Like they're just fucking like the dire wolves that they found in Game of Thrones that they like later, you know. But he's got them all chained to each other, but he's not holding on to them.
What?
They
And
walk
I'm like-
themselves.
And clearly the guy's like, oh, I think one of them's called Thor. He's like, Thor, come on. And the dog's like, all right. And then he like pulls the other one with him. I'm like, what if that dog just attacks a kid randomly?
Then
Like
he has
what?
2
I don't
freaking cohorts
understand.
with him.
Like what
boomerang.
runs people through people's heads? And I see it all the time in my neighborhood. Where like the other day I saw this like really old, like beautiful black lab just struggling to walk down the street. And I was like, who the fuck? Where's your owner? And I looked down, and all the way at the end of the block, the guy was like, come on. And I'm like, why is that dog not on a fucking leash? And there's cars zooming by. And I mean, it's my neighborhood, so it's like Fillmore Street. People are going by. It breaks my heart, man. People are annoying when it comes to their dogs.
Yeah.
You always put Porty on a leash, right?
Yeah, of course. He's psycho. You kidding me?
That's
no.
true.
But why?
Beelines into
I still don't understand the
tiger.
question. Why do we trust dogs? I
just
don't
wanna talk about
I don't
dogs,
trust
yes.
one fucking dog. If one dog's coming at me barking, immediately I'm getting in the low stance, getting ready to kick. Because that's the move. When it's
But see,
jumping
here's
at
my
me,
thing.
I'm kicking at
That's
it.
a perfect example, though. Is like, all right, so I'm walking with Colin, and I'm not gonna lie. I see this thing coming to me. What's my first thought? Gotta look cool in front of Colin.
Oh,
Don't act
really?
as scared as you are.
Oh, no,
I didn't
no,
like
no.
that situation at all. I don't know what you were feeling.
I just felt like the dog wasn't going to do anything. Like,
See,
I
don't think
I
that
saw the
way.
woman on the porch. I felt like, because I said afterwards, I'm like, the dog bites me and I sue you. Like, that's cool. Like, that we can play
Kevin
that
got
game.
viciously attacked by a dog when we were younger, and it
believe
was
it.
Kevin,
it
turn
was
on your microphone. I want to hear about
horrifying.
this.
Yep, it's true.
What
I
happened?
got attacked by a dog. So a neighbor friend of mine comes with a golden retriever, beautiful dog, and she's like, "Hey, I found this dog," and I was like, "No, that dog belongs to that house over there." And she's like, "All right, cool." She walks over there, and I watch her from my house, doesn't knock, come back and said, "Nah, they said it wasn't theirs," and I was like, "No, I just saw you not knock," and she's like, "Dude, you think I can keep it?" And I was like, "No." And then the dog just looks at me and is like, fuck this, and runs at me. Now, the dog is as tall as me, right? When
Sure.
it's on the floor. That was a short kid.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like 4'9" at the time.
Thank God you grew so tall. Thank God from the tiny Deku nut. the Deku tree that you are now grew.
I can still take you down right to the ground.
Did you just hear how I take down a dog? It's the same for you. As you lunge, I kick.
And then the dog's on top of me, knocks me down.
Yeah.
I smack my head real hard.
Damn.
And it goes to bite my face. I block with my arm.
Smart.
Now I got a bunch of bite wounds. Well, it was just one bite. But
Did you sue?
No. They just took it and killed it and checked it for rabies. It did not have rabies. Thank fucking God.
That's the shitty thing. First off, I'm a dog lover. I love dogs. Cats can all go burn in hell as far as I'm concerned. Don't like them, don't trust them, and I have a deep feeling that if the cat were bigger than me, he would eat all of us.
There was a story. There was a story about that, right? Didn't we go over that like a while ago?
Yeah. What?
It was like something in the Guardian, like some or
Like
I
cats
think I
would
read in the
kill you
Guardian,
if they
like
could?
yeah, it was something
Yeah.
called like if cats could kill you, they would.
They would.
Like they don't
Yeah.
care about you. They aren't interested in
There's no
anything you
empathy.
do.
Yeah, if
They
the
are
cat-
just using you, and if they could eat you, they would fucking eat you.
They would eat you.
No, not so I necessarily believe it. But people can go look that
I
up. It's true.
100% believe that. I'm not even going to check it. I'm going to just believe that as fact and go on with the rest of my life understanding that concept. Yeah, I love dogs. I haven't been bitten by a dog though. But even then,
haven't or have?
I have.
Oh,
I got
tell
bit
me
by.
that story.
I was my
Dog
my,
bite stories. I like
think
this
I told
topic.
this story before. My uncle Vince, who was a former sheriff. Vinnie, yeah.
Uncle Vinny.
I got Uncle Vin.
Hey.
Great guy. Used to live out in Paris, California, which is like by Hemet. If anyone knows it, you know. If not, don't even worry about it. But he used to. It's one of those really small towns in Southern California that you'd think like, hey, maybe it'll blow up one day, and it didn't. It never. Not blow up. I mean, like
Like
know,
meth
a
lab.
lot of people will move there, and the town will be booming.
Gotcha.
Never really worked out that way. And he has since moved to Temecula, but he used to raise German Shepherds, and he would train them as police dogs. And one day, I mean, he just had this cage, and they would just like, I mean, it was like the fucking raptors when I would go out there, right? In Jurassic Park, they would just like trace me with their eyes and go back and forth. And as I would walk, they would just like, they would like trace on the cage. And I'm like, oh, they're police dogs. They're cops, right? These dogs
These are the cops of the dog
are
world.
cops. They're not going to fuck with me, right?
Hello, officer. Just me,
Sir?
little
Not
fat,
to-
pudgy Nick
Oh my
Scarpino,
God, and it was-
covered in antipasta.
So to me, these dogs are like these lean, cool police officers, like out of uniform, right? I'm thinking they're gonna like get a belt and a little doggy gun and go out there and like take down some drug dealers. To them, I am a walking donut. Like I am a fucking, because I mean, this is when I was super chubby too. So I was like a kid. I was probably, I could just imagine myself just stuffing Twinkies into my face, looking at these dogs, and they haven't been fed probably like all day. And my uncle's probably like really disciplining them, whatever. So we all go in, and he wanted
Officer Whiskers, get him.
he wants to acclimate us to the dogs, obviously. So he's like, come in and like there's a specific way, smell your hand, make sure you give them a treat, whatever. But they're not like normal dogs, so don't go in and like
Hug him.
try to fuck
Kiss
with
'em.
them, because they're gonna bite your fucking head off. And I was like, okay, and I respected that. And I don't know why, for whatever reason, we all turned to leave the cage, and no one told me to not turn my back to them. Because I saw everyone else, and I was the last person in the cage, and I just felt this on my ass.
Yeah.
And it was it was one of the dogs
Yeah.
just fucking was like, that's a T-bone steak, and I want me some of that, and just
Just like your
clamped
wife.
onto my ass. And I remember being like, it was weird because I wasn't scared. I remember just thinking I must have done something wrong. Like it
I'm
didn't.
sorry,
I don't
officer.
remember it hurting.
Officer Bones, no.
Like I don't remember it hurting. I just remember being like, oh shit, this is happening right now, and like, how do I get this dog off my fucking ass? Like it was like my lower thigh. He didn't go straight for the asshole. And all of a sudden I look over, my Uncle Vince just comes out of nowhere and just like pries it off and like pulls it back, pulls me out of the cage, locks it, and I was fine. Iodine, the dog didn't have rabies or anything like that. But what I felt really bad about was that they had to destroy the dog because it can't be.
Yeah,
They
you can't be an
bring it
officer like
around
that.
other people, right? So not only did it flunk its cop test,
Got the death penalty.
unfortunately they had to kill
That's
it.
a high cost for a test.
I've always felt bad about that because on the one hand I'm like, okay, obviously you can't release this dog, can't be around other people.
Yeah.
Like, if it's acting like this, it's not trained well enough. It's going to eventually be a huge liability. It might hurt someone seriously. But on the other hand, I'm like, it's kind of fucked up that we raise dogs, and if it doesn't pass muster, we fucking execute it, right? Like this dog that is not that far removed from a wild animal, right? Just because we quote unquote domesticated dogs doesn't mean that it doesn't still have those primal instincts to like attack and kill things. And then all of a sudden when it does, we destroy it. Isn't that kind of like that's never really sat well with me. Now,
Doggy
granted, if a
dog
cat
world.
attacked me, if a cat attacked me, I'd punt that fucker across the room.
Cats attack all the time.
I don't
Dude,
get-
cats
You,
is
you,
just-
you
snap its little
do
neck
that
and
thing
throw
where
it
you
away.
roll them over their belly and they're like clawing at your thing.
Yeah,
You're, like,
no,
you're
man.
adorable. You're just
Cats
so
are
cute.
they're fucking even more scary than dogs are. So big dogs, obviously they're scary. Small dogs, they have that creepiness about them that I just don't fucking trust. But
Now
cats,
that's Chia infecting you.
What, the small dogs?
Yeah.
No, I've always had a.
Small dogs creep you out?
Yeah,
Small dogs
I
are the
don't
best,
like
dude.
animals in general. I'm just kind of like, I just don't trust them. Like, I really don't trust them. I'm like, all right, we're just gonna let this thing on my neck. All it needs to do is, and I'm dead right there in the gullet. I'm done.
Yeah, it's-
fucking done.
and they know-
if I got killed by Portillo,
Yeah.
that'd be the saddest thing ever. But all he needs to do is
awesome.
get his little get his jaw
I mean, it would
around
be
me.
sad, but like, think of the story we would have for
I
Kind
know,
of Funny.
it'd be great.
How many
It
great
would be-
topics would we
it'd be
have
a great
about
topic,
that?
for
You
sure.
guys remember that time Portillo killed Tim? I would insist that Portillo
There'd
live.
be like a whole thing of just
I
like,
would
do
put-
we have to? What do we do with the painting? Like we don't want to take Tim out of it because he means so much. Do we leave his murderer in it as well?
I would insist that we had a trial and that I represented Portillo because I would get him off. I would Johnny Cochran the shit out of that dog.
Man.
You're like going
No,
through
but
everything
the
Tim's ever
dude,
said.
The cats are scary, and I feel like they always have been because they just do what they want. They obviously don't like us. Dogs seem to like us. So that's when the cats start being all friendly and shit that I'm like,
You're up to something.
you're up to some shit. So I just straight up, dogs are better than cats. We're not fucking stupid here. That's a fact. Everybody understands this. However, my ex-girlfriend had 2 cats. And after staying with her a whole lot, like I kind of grew a fondness for these cats. And it's very similar to like Colin, who I imagine doesn't like small dogs, has a fondness for Lola just because you're around this thing and you're like, man, I can't hate you. So like I kind of fell in love with these cats and I'm like, man, I shouldn't have this positive emotion towards cats because I should fucking hate you guys.
They're horrible.
But they were so nice. They always do that like little making bread thing.
Yeah, making
And I'm like,
biscuits.
what the hell are you doing? And they're just like, "Arr," and they make that little like
They purr.
engine noise.
They
And I'm
purr,
like,
yeah.
this is weird. Everything about this is weird. But that's the thing is like, I know I don't trust them because then when you look at they're so cute. They're doing little like, and then they're making the bread. But then you see their fucking claws.
Yeah,
like,
the
coming
fucking
out.
Wolverine claws.
And I'm
Forget
like,
about it.
fuck you guys. Here I am.
Really, first off,
you're letting my guard
retractable
down.
claws, terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Raptors
Cool,
have
cool.
retractable claws.
They got razor blades,
Yeah,
man. Like
yeah.
that's the thing is like those things are like weapons of mass destruction. We're just letting these cats walk around the streets. Just no.
What, like,
My
if they-
favorite cat move is when you're petting one and you're getting it in the good spot and it really likes it, and then it just just decides, no, I'm done. It turns and it bites you.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, man?
Cats are strange. Like I grew up with cats, and I like cats.
too.
I've had a few cats that are important to me, and I appreciate them and I love them. They are like animals that like love you on their own terms. And what I always really loved about the certain cats I had was like they only like a few people. They don't really have time or care about anyone else. They're like skittish as hell. But like they do show affection in their own way. I think that it's a little dramatic for like that piece for being like they'll kill you if they could. I'm like, I'm not sure that's necessarily true. I think that they're just unpredictable and a little wily. Like they're just I think they're a little
they would
fucked up.
absolutely
I think
kill you, and here's why I know that because mountain lions will fucking kill you, and they're not that far.
show it a wolf though.
It's true.
So
That's true.
So the I just
Flawed.
Nick's like, you know what? I didn't think this through at all.
think that through at all.
My apologies.
That's
on
my
that one.
point though. I don't trust any of them. You're right.
But like cats, I'm like these days as an adult, like we had Chloe for a long time at our apartment.
Right.
We loved
That
like
was
she
a
was
cat.
she was Mike Mitchell's cat. She was fucking weird. Like she was definitely like a character. Like she was definitely just a weird fucking character that lived in our house. That was just she like loved Mike. Like it was so like, and that was it was interesting to watch. Like I was her second. Like she would hang out with me like all the time. Mike wasn't there, but you could tell how Mike even came into the apartment. So like sight unseen, she'd just be like, I'm out. Like when Mike came in and I'd never see her again until Mike left, and then she would come sit with me or whatever. Lola, I really do love. I adore Lola. And it's funny because my friends had dogs as a kid and stuff, but I've only lived with a couple of dogs that painted a certain image of a dog in my head, different images, but a certain image, certain images nonetheless of dogs where I'm like, this isn't for me, which is like in college, I lived with a pit bull for a little while who was named Mimi. Who was really cute but like fucking crazy, and you want to talk about a dog I didn't trust. I'm like, nah, like you could fucking kill me. I remember like just like sitting on the couch next to him and being like, you could just murder me right now if you want to. But
she didn't, Tim.
But then with Portillo, it's like, well, Portillo is like kind of just a lap dog and like kind of just sits around and stuff like that. I'm like, well, that's not exciting to me either, right? Like So like
the
people
best.
like certain dogs or certain kinds of cats, and that's cool. But with Lola, who's a Boston Terrier, and Boston Terriers are notoriously crazy. She has like an incredible personality, and so that drew me into being more interested in dogs, because I'm like, this is the first dog I lived with that has like a real like outgoing personality where like
Right.
I'm like, you're kind of crazy, like, and I kind of like
She's
it.
a sweetheart, too.
And she's so super good natured. She would never hurt anyone, and like,
But she hurts me all the time.
Well, because she's trying to get on your. She doesn't realize she has like
See, these are
claws.
lies. Everybody just they live in their bubbles and they think that these little furry creatures are nothing but fun. All they are is little portable claw attack machines.
Yeah, they
that
are.
just claw and attack.
You know what they're like?
She's not trying to attack you,
mousers in TMNT, the little things that like came at you and just started biting. That's exactly what
especially
they are.
when she had a little butt.
Yeah.
Shout out to her little butt.
Yeah,
little
Lola-
butt. I do
Lola
like the
shake-
little
Lola
butt.
shakes her
But
butt
this is
and
what I'm
all-
saying. They lure us into this like
they're too
thing
cute.
where they're like, oh,
And
we're
they kill
so
you.
cool, and then they fucking kill you.
They kill you.
So the thing
No,
is,
Lola lures you into the thing, and then she gets up and audibly farts next to you. That was today when I was working from home. She gets up and just lays down. I'm like, oh, you can't. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
oh God.
that's the other
Okay,
thing about
now
Boston
Portillo
Terriers.
has shit his pants before.
All the dog. I mean, all dogs have, but I mean, again, it's another Boston trait that they're really. bad
Boston's
at.
are stinky.
Yeah.
And they snore.
Yeah,
It's
it's
unfortunate.
because of their nose or whatever. It's
Yeah.
interesting because apparently like their bodies don't smell at all. Like I give her like a bath a week, but like she never smells. But like she'll fucking fart 7,000 times.
Oof. Yeah.
So she turned me like she kind of turned me on to this certain kind of dog where I'm like, okay, like I actually like and appreciate dogs more than I realized. It was just that I didn't really encounter on a personal level the dog that I would vibe with, if that makes any sense. I don't want a lap dog. I don't
you
want
fall
a
in love.
fucking crazy pit bull. I want like she's like a good natured kind of nut job, and she's like really she's sweet, you know, like and so that kind of turned me on, and I've been talking about that with Aaron lately and other people where I'm like, this turned me on to the whole world of dogs. I'm reading about them, I'm trying to learn about them, and I've made mistakes. You witnessed one of them, which was like I didn't have her food because I don't know anything about dogs, so I'm learning. I didn't have her food, so I just bought her other food and I gave it to her, and then she shit all over the apartment.
Yep, that happens.
And I'm like, and Aaron's like, why would you change her food? You can't do that. And I'm like, I didn't know that. How the fuck would I know that? So I'm like,
I just gave her cat food. I thought it was all the same. It
so,
doesn't matter.
So like, and I feel bad about that too, because she was that morning, she was like all like on my chest as I was getting up, and she was trying to tell me she wanted to go outside. I'm like, oh, you're just being very affectionate. And then I ignored her. And then an hour later, she's like, I can't hold it anymore. I felt really bad for her. But it turned me on to it turned me on to a certain kind of a dog, and realized that I like dogs. I think that my love of dogs is, especially because I'm with Lola all the time. Erin works like really long hours and's gone a lot of time, so like I'm with her constantly, and she and I have just bonded in a very specific way. So my love of dogs is waxing as my love of cats is actually waning, because I realize the advantages of having a dog. Now, having a dog's a fucking pain in the ass. Like in many ways, way more ways than having a cat.
Yeah, I feel like that's why people pick cats, right? 'Cause
But-
cats,
Yeah, they're easy.
If left to their own devices, they'll figure out how to hunt.
No,
themselves.
growing up, that was the whole thing. I grew up in a cat household,
Right.
and that was the thing of like, oh yeah, I grew up with cats. I love cats. Cats are better than dogs. Da da da. But then like being removed, and then having Portillo for so many years, and then when we reintroduced Chloe, I was like, oh man, no, cats kind of suck. It's tracking litter all over the house, and this thing, and then you gotta clean the shit out of the stinky box and all this stuff, and it's pooping in your house, and it's a thing, and blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, it's a pain in the ass of let's walk Portillo, let's do this. Where I can't just leave Portillo unattended for a weekend like I could a cat. You know, when we used to go camping, we had cats, just left out extra food.
You just
clean the litter
put
box and be
You
fine.
put like 3 birds in there and just lock
Go.
them in, and we're like,
Have fun.
You're good. You're fun.
You gotta hunt. This is how we keep you wild.
Damn.
But I thought it was. Oh, it took years before I reflected back of like, oh man, like no, I really like dogs better than I like cats. Like just you get more out of the relationship. I feel.
See, I've never. Maybe it's because I've never had a positive interaction with a cat. Like I've never bonded with a cat. All of my experiences with cats have either been neutral or extremely negative. And the first one that comes to mind is the first when I moved up here. I moved into Brisbane, California, Brisbane is a very, 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 very small town. It's not even a town. It's more like 5 houses in like a 7-Eleven. Yeah. But I didn't know anything about the area, and I couldn't afford to live in San Francisco. So I was like, Brisbane. There's a Craigslist ad. The guy needs a roommate. Brisbane, great.
And it's right where you work.
And it's right where I worked because the old IGN offices were in Brisbane. Important thing. Moved there. The guy's like, "Are you okay with cats?" I'm like, "I'm a little bit allergic, but I'll be fine." Until I see this cat. Okay. And I can't express to you the feeling of locking eyes with this animal for the first time and seeing pure evil. I just don't know if you've ever had this feeling before. This thing was long, very lean, pure white. White like it's something that scared the dickens out of it, or it was just a ghost running around.
One-eyed.
One-eyed, wore a patch, had a peg leg. No. But the thing with this cat was, and the guy warned me. He was like, look, the cat's a good cat, but occasionally it likes to just jump on your head. And I was like, I know, are you serious about this? And he said, yes. Occasionally, it'll just come up and you just push it off. It's fine. It'll go away. So I'm watching TV late the first night. The guy had already gone to bed. And I didn't realize the cat was out. Because cats, by the way, when they're on carpet, you can't fucking hear them coming. It's not like a dog you could always hear coming. Dogs aren't subtle. This cat
100%.
was a ninja. And I just felt something behind me on the couch. And all of a sudden, this fucking cat comes up behind me. And Greg, I need you to hold this mic like
You
this.
got it.
The cat comes up behind me. I didn't even see it. And it just goes like this. And then it starts to lick the back of my head. And at this point, I'm so scared right now that I actually can't move. I eventually got the damn thing off me, but I was like, this cat cannot be around me more.
When I
Ever since
got
then,
my
I've hated
first
cats.
cat, Gizmo, got her as a little kitten. Adorable cat.
Great name for a cat.
Yeah, she was great. Loved her. Fell in love with her. She was a good cat. Gizmo fucked up in the head. You know, personality of cats, right? She was taken away from her mother too early. So for the next decade or however long this cat lived, what she would do is at night.
Try to suck your nipple.
No, at night she would go into the kitchen, bite the towels off of the oven, and then drag them in her mouth through her legs, moaning. So as a young kid growing up, you have a banshee in the house all night long, and like you eventually figure out, no big deal. You know what I mean? That's
Sure.
okay, cool.
Sure.
Next cat
Not
I get is
annoying.
Cuddles. Cuddles an adorable little cat, right? Little gray kid.
Who's naming these cats?
Me. I'm a kid. I'm a dumb kid. You know what I mean?
You name the
Gizmo
cats?
for Gremlins.
Sure.
Cuddles because Cuddles cuddled with me. Like as soon as I got her out of the thing, she cuddled up with me and wouldn't let go of me. Pokey 1 because of Ernest Goes to Camp. Pokey 2 also because of Ernest Goes to Camp. Now these are turtles. I should have pointed that out. These are turtles. Sorry. I had a guinea pig named Iggy for Iggy Wiggum on The Simpsons.
That's awesome.
Really deep cut of the hellfish. Anyways, though, I get Cuddles, right? Trying to bond with this cat. Try to, we have a whole day together. All right, go to bed that night. Wake up, cuddle. Or, this must have been Gizmo, I guess. They all run together. Cats are stupid. Yeah. Well, I go to bed the first night with Gizmo, I assume it is then. And I wake up, and it's the first cat I've ever had. This is the first cat then that wants to sleep with me, right? Because my parents' cats, they didn't want anything to do with me, right? You know what I mean? These cats were old. They knew my parents.
Yeah.
By the way,
They'd seen some shit.
if you're looking for like how I got good at naming cats, one of my parents' cats, Runt Face. Because he was the runt of the litter, called him Runt Face. Runt Face was a son of a bitch.
That's like what happens when you let
Runterson.
That's like exactly. It's like what happens when you have a public
a vote
public
on the
voting,
internet.
yeah.
Anyways, I wake up that first night with Gizmo because she's the first one. She's a kitten, and I wake up and just feel this her tail across my neck. But I'm a little kid. I'm like 6 or 7. Tail across my neck, and rather than me think it was the cat I just got this today, thought it was some kind of monster or giant spider.
Yeah.
And threw off the covers and screamed and ran around the house for a second. Gizmo didn't sleep with me for a long time, but.
Was that Gizmo's choice or your choice?
I mean, that was Gizmo's choice. She was like, I don't know what just happened. I
kid's
don't need to be a
insane,
part of this.
right?
I don't need to be a part of that. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
No, I get it though, man. Those cats, like they do that thing. You see it on Reddit all the time, like the startled cats.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what are they looking at? I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what they're reacting
Ghosts.
to.
They
Is
can
there a
also see
fucking
ghosts.
ghost there?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
It's like-
Can they see through dimensions?
Probably.
You catch animals do it. Portillo
They
just
see
be
some
staring at
shit.
stuff all the time. Like, what do you see,
I do not fuck with
motherfucker?
this. The thing with Kevin, you're gonna need to get back on the mic because you need to give me some fact checks here.
Here we go with some fact checks.
These cats are fucking crazy. Kevin's not always. He had 2 dogs. He had Zeus and Thor.
Yeah,
they were
Zeus
little
and
fucking
Thor.
French poodles.
Wow.
Thor, for some reason,
Miniature French
Not
poodles.
what I expected
They
when I
weren't
heard the
mine.
names.
They
They was
weren't
his older
mine.
sisters.
I named
Well, I
them.
didn't think they were
He
yours.
did name them, but Thor could only pee if it was on his front legs and did a handstand. He would just pee
every
everywhere.
time.
It was just like, this is not efficient at
And
all.
it's like
Damn
Thor,
Krampus?
you can see Zeus pee normal.
but then
just pee normal.
they eventually go away. I don't remember what happened to them.
Where'd they go? Valhalla?
One is a Greek god, so you look dumb. So that's
Apologies,
Olympus.
sir.
At some point, these dogs are gone, and I don't remember.
They
My
die? What happened
No,
to them?
yeah, my sisters. They were my sister's dogs. They each had a dog, and
They
I
ate
got
'em?
screwed. No, they like were terrible at taking care of them, so they like gave them away to some old lady on Craigslist. They gave him filet mignon.
Okay.
So
They-
eventually, there's this stray fucking cat that keeps going to Kevin's house, and eventually, it has babies
Oh, that was
underneath.
Roy. Yeah, you talking about Roy?
Roy
don't
had
know.
babies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know it was a boy or a girl. She just kept coming here, and I was like, "It's
He
named
names his
Roy."
cat Roy. It ends up being a woman.
Short for
It ends
Royale.
up having a lot of babies underneath his sister's bed.
Yep.
So I don't remember exactly a lot of the details.
So
aren't
wait, while
important.
Kevin's sister's making babies on top,
Uh-huh.
Roy's popping them out,
popping them out the
downstairs.
bottom, just fucking 1, 2. I don't even. There was a whole bunch of them. But
5. There were 5.
there was one.
Blood. And
There was
afterbirth in
one
the
that
koala
was
house
like-
that evening.
One needed a little extra help, and because it was a little stupid. It was a stupid cat.
No, it was sick. It had a nasal infection, and we took it to the vet, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this cat's dead. You gotta just put it down. It's gonna be dead.
This cat's dead.
You can pay
Declared by the doctor.
Kevin
So
Coelho
what does
says
Kevin
no.
A. Coelho do?
No, it's my sister.
Iron
but-
lung.
He says, "Fuck this." So he fucking milks a cat. He
Oh,
milked
you're
Roy.
talking about the milking?
He milked Roy. He actually milked the
Well,
fucking cat.
when they were first born.
What's wrong with you, Kevin?
No, there's nothing wrong. So when
He
they were-
wanted to
no,
save a
listen,
life.
Listen.
Do you know the one
about me? You
shortage?
getting
Do you know
a
the
meat fucker?
shortage we have in America of cats? I'm glad he did this.
Yeah, them and rabbits.
Yeah, when Roy had babies, all the cats were trying to eat.
Nurse.
Yeah, nurse.
Sure.
And nothing was happening. And like my mom started freaking out. She's like, "What do we do?" I was like, "Well,
You get a rock.
Stray cat, by the way, that just started living in their house.
Yeah.
we had
Roy.
cat food there for Julia. There was another cat that would come around.
Oh, not
my
your sister.
Well, well, I don't get it. What?
I'm not sure I do either.
Why do you do
Anyways.
that shit too? I had a
So
cat
yeah,
once
I milked
that had,
a cat once. It
that
was not
had
a big
babies,
deal.
but it decided to have the babies. It had the kittens behind the fucking dryer, like the worst spot. Like,
I mean,
how
well,
did? Why?
Under his
My dad was
sister's
pissed.
bed is probably a
was
really
hot.
bad place too.
Yeah, it was really deep under there
Stinky.
too.
So this little
And
this cat,
Roy only liked me at the time. She was still a stray, and no one else could get around, or else she'd get all feisty.
because he had the baby.
But except for me, because I don't know, she just liked me and let me milk her.
So Kevin would milk this cat, and I couldn't even
No,
handle
you
it back
just
then.
you do it once, and then once you get the fucking factory going, it does itself.
So
Was there a blockage?
Yeah, I
Did
mean,
the first squirts come out like cottage cheese?
I don't. It just wasn't happening.
Was she like? Was she
You just
like
give a little
bulbous
massage.
milk glands?
You do it for people too when they're first having babies. You sometimes got to massage a little bit in there.
How many titties you massage for the mamas?
Oh, I know what I'm doing. with
Kevin
my
has
hands.
a standing ad on Craigslist for that service.
It's just a photo of him like this and that
It's
Kevin
just him
grin.
and then
So we milked this damn cat. He saved this kitten's life. That kitten then becomes his cat that he named Forrest.
Forrest.
That lived a very long life.
For Forrest Whitaker?
No, he lived
Forrest Gump.
7 years. It was very sad.
7 years. And
It was terrible.
that was the fucking worst cat in the world. Because
No.
he was nice.
Little
I
four
semi-trusted him because Kevin milked his mother for him. and brought
Kevin,
him back
did you
from
know
the dead.
when you started the milking? Did you have to suck it out and then squirt
Yeah.
it in?
Was it
No.
like getting gasoline out of a hose
just-
when you're like sucking out of a car?
First of all, they got little nipples, so you're doing 2 at a time.
I wouldn't know.
You've never seen a cat's nipples?
I mean,
Are you
sure I have.
holding
I
the
haven't-
cat
I
over the
haven't my
bucket?
mouth
Like
on.
I don't think no
No,
cat
man.
I know would like to chill out this long.
The cat was totally fine with it. Roy loved me, so she just laid back, and I was like, "All right, man, we're just gonna do this." I massaged a little bit on each one, moved down, like they would start tearing up with milk, and then the kittens would just latch on, and then you go to the next ones, next pair of kittens latch on.
You're a good Samaritan.
Fucking A, dude.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
So one night I'm sleeping over at his house and I'm on the floor in his living room with a sleeping bag.
Please
right?
tell me Kevin milks you in your sleep.
Oh God, no. And I'm sleeping, and then I wake up, and it was just kind of chilling in the morning. All of a sudden, I feel something move at my feet,
Oh, God.
and I was unaware that the cats were fucking in this house. And I like pull the sleeping bag up, and there's just fucking cat in my feet, and it comes running up on me. I've never been more scared in my life. I might have shit myself
Did it
right
hurt you?
there. But that was when I was like, fuck this. I don't trust animals. I definitely don't trust Kevin.
See, the problem
Nothing
is
about
you're
this
the
is good.
pussy. You're a pussy like Poe, because Poe is the same way. Where I remember distinctly having a sleepover when we're going to bed or whatever, and Cuddles went over there. Now Cuddles, if I'm lying, I'm dying. It's him. Cuddles has 2 distinctive traits, neither of which are important to this story. I feel the need to tell you. So you know how cats, their paws look like this, right? Give me the overhead cam. This is what paws on cats look like, right? They got no thumbs, right? Yep. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Cuddles had thumbs. She had little mitten hands. I should have called her mittens. I was such a dumb kid. But anyways, so there's that, right? And then, because I just imagine these cute little baseball mitts. Come on, go back to this. Imagine these cute little baseball mitts making the biscuits on you, all right? That's what this is going to be key to the story. For no reason whatsoever, I'll also tell you, Cuddles blind in one eye, or at least one eye totally fucked up, right? Because we noticed that she'd try to jump from the bed to the windowsill and miss it all the time and bite it and like hit the wall and fall down. And then
Cat's like, one day I'm gonna make that jump.
Kev, I'm gonna need overhead cam again. This would be a toy, right? And Cuddles would come in to play with it, but she would immediately yank this paw, her left paw, into her face, and then like she'd be like this, she'd like this, she like where like a normal person would play like this.
Hey, that's not cool.
A normal person would play like this. Cuddles would play like this, and like not be able to ever get it. So we went there, and it turns out when she was a kitten. Horrible story. Someone tried to kill her with a BB gun. They shot her in the back of the head with a BB gun, thinking they would kill her, and threw her in a dumpster. Didn't kill her. She shows up at animal control. I come in looking for a winner. I find Cuddles. I take Cuddles.
Where the fuck the thumbs come from?
Oh, that's just, a birth defect, whatever.
Chernobyl.
Cuddles one day at a sleepover, I don't know, must be in junior high, grade school, whatever, is making the biscuits on Poe's chest. And he starts panicking. I'm like, don't worry. She's declawed in the front. It's going to be fine.
Declawed your cat?
Yeah, well, that was the family thing. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. And then he panicked enough that Cuddles then got freaked out and ran across his chest and tore his chest open with her back claws. Yeah.
See? Fuck these cats.
Yeah, you can't trust them.
You're talking shit about Poe?
Yeah, that's right.
Fuck Biscuits. Or
Maybe if
whatever
he
the hell his
wasn't a
name
big,
was.
maybe it wasn't
Cuddles.
a big. Biscuits would also be a good name for. Fuck, you should have been around when I was naming this cat.
Oh my God.
The other one was named Tigger.
Disaster.
And I
that's
didn't
a
even
good
like
one.
Winnie the Pooh. I don't even know how I got that.
My friend James threw his cat at me one time. He like just fucking threw him at me, and this motherfucker, I swear to God, he got 6 hits on me.
Oh wow.
In the air.
Yeah?
I don't even know. I mean, they have 4 legs, so it was like one of those things where it's like punch 1, kick, punch, kick, and then 2 more.
Wow, that's really good.
And it sliced me up. And I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck this little shit. But then I found out that this cat just roams the streets looking for fights.
Oh wow. Okay.
Just fucking, I'm sure. Like I can imagine. I can see it in my head. This cat just going out, finding raccoons, and being like, "You feeling lucky? You want to fuck?"
Yeah.
And that raccoon's like, "Damn, really?" And then they fucking fight. And you've
they
seen
fuck-
that.
they fight, not
you've
fuck,
seen-
okay.
Well, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I've seen this cat come back, and he's looking scrappy as shit. Like he'll walk in. Like I'll be at James's house. This cat will walk in and look at us and be like, "Yeah, what's up?" Just walk through. He looks fucked up as hell, but he looks like
I'm
he
alive.
accomplished
I'm
something.
alive.
Yeah.
Final thing about how weird cats are, right? Because like I had the 3 cats. They were great. Socialized.
3?
You know what I mean? Yeah. You remember I dropped Tigger there at the end.
You're right, Tigger.
So we had these cats,
forget?
my cats, they were totally social, whatever. Yeah, I go to I guess way to college, yeah, and come back and mom and dad had picked up these like weirdo cats. They were like feral or whatever. They were trying to make them not feral anymore. They were doing all right with it. But these cats didn't want anything to do with me and Poe when we'd be down in the basement playing video games, whatever. So one day, Poe and I decide, we're sick of this. We're catching these cats and we're gonna pet them. Because that's, if there's anything a crazy cat likes more, it's getting caught by 2
Giants.
teenage boys, I don't know, and getting petted. You know what I mean? So we basically trap them in the utility closet. You know what I mean? The utility room over there with the water heaters and the things in your basement. You know what I'm talking about. Poe gets down in a hockey goalie stance, knees on the ground, because I'm gonna flush this cat out to him. Right? It's gonna have nowhere to go. He'll be able to scoop it up. If I'm lying, I'm dying, Tim. I flush this cat out. It comes out, sees Poe, runs back to me, sees me, runs back out, and then I don't know how runs up the wall and around Poe. He got away, and we were like,
Pulled the Bo Jackson on you.
well, we've just seen a cat that can defy physics. It had enough speed that it was able to get, and then 6 or 7 paws on the wall to be over this. I mean, it was insanity.